Hi, my name's Jason Wisniewski, and I've been playing Irish traditional music on the fiddle for more than 20 years now. But I didn't grow up with the music. It was something that I came to towards the end of high school, and I learned partly through lessons with a teacher, through a lot of immersive listening, and through careful study on my own. And a lot of the music that we learn, the music that we understand the best, we just learn through what's often called enculturation, where we just kind of absorb it as we go about our lives. There are things that you'll know about the music theory that's used in Western pop or rock music or classical that you have no idea that you know. Uh, but you do because you've just heard music structured on functional harmony uh, your whole life, if you've grown up in a context like I have. But again, for me, Irish traditional music took a lot of conscious work. And there are a lot of people who come to the music without a background in it, especially here in the United States. Uh, and so I thought that I would share something that I think doesn't get talked about as much, that can really help your playing and help you get the sound you're looking for. And we're going to focus on jigs. So a jig is a dance tune in 6/8 time. That means there's six beats and the eighth note has the beat. But the six beats are split up really into two groups of three eighth notes each. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let me play you an example, a very common Irish jig called the Connachtman's Rambles that I'll use to demonstrate some of this. And then we'll talk about what some of the important parts of this are. So here's the Connachtman's Rambles. If I can get that last chord in tune. So, one of the most obvious things, if you're coming from, say, a classical music background, you're a classical violinist, let's say, is the rhythm is of course swung. You're not playing. You're playing. And that's a really important thing, and that's something that a lot of people focus on when they're learning how to play Irish jigs, and that's all well and good. Uh, it is worth noting, uh, in a bit of nuance, that the amount of swing uh, within a jig or a number of other types of traditional dance tunes can vary depending on the regional style of the musicians that you're playing, that you're listening to, or with whom you're playing. For example, the swing in Sligo is going to be different than the swing in Donegal. Uh, what gets talked about less is the structure of the beats within each measure of 6/8. And I find that that is the unsung hero of making an Irish jig sound right. Now, listen to me play it two different ways. Not like that. Versus. Now, I'm exaggerating both of those, but there's a difference. The first time I played through, I put the emphasis on beat one. The second time, I put the emphasis on beat four in the middle of the measure. Now, of course, if you apply this in a very mechanical way, it's still going to sound a little stilted, but that difference between emphasis in the beginning of the measure versus emphasis in the middle of the measure, the beginning of that second group of eighth notes, is really what separates Irish jigs from, say, Scottish or Cape Breton jigs. For example, here's a few phrases of a great Cape Breton jig called Walking the Floor that I learned from a recording of Buddy McMaster. Right? That's very different than... and we can hear this in other jigs too. Here's another Irish jig, Tatterjack Walsh. So I'll just play it like I would normally play it. Now, if I put too much emphasis on beat one, which, especially if you're a classical musician, that's what you tend to do. That downbeat is the key, but not here. Here's what it sounds like if I do that. Just, it's even though I'm swinging the rhythm, but it still doesn't quite sound right. Whereas if I play, now I'm exaggerating a little bit there for emphasis, but hopefully you can hear what I mean. And this is something that I think doesn't really get thought about or talked about enough amongst people who are learning Irish fiddling or really Irish traditional music on all sorts of instruments. So I hope that this gives you something to think about, something that you can add to your own playing that'll help you to capture the sound that you're looking for. So good luck with that, and see you some other time.